full education in third edition. The major problem those days were third edition was very strict on statutory requirements. My hospital was not as per the approved plan, so that was a major setback. But still they told you get the process and the SOPs and all the other processes ready so that your quality will change and it will become autopilot mode. So just because I didn't know, I was having difficulty in building the hospital, I ventured into the NABH, and then once I knew that this is happening, I just applied because I just read the entry level thing and I didn't do any exercise, I just applied for it. And for my surprise, 2 months later, I got a letter saying that you have been awarded entry level and NABH first in India, and I was called to New Delhi and I was awarded the certificate there. Then when I came back, I got a patient from Chennai. He wrote to Chennai is nearly 400 kilometers. But I was not very happy about the work going on, quality and other things. I was in CHO for 2 years, so I know about the quality and other things. I was not very happy on that aspect. So that is the time when a patient came from Chennai for circumcision. I asked him, such a small procedure, why don't you get it done in Chennai? Why not come all the way to here? Then he told me, sir, your hospital is NH. And that was the entry level. So that is the time which dragged me a bit that the NABH has a value on that. And then I just changed the agency, and that is the time that Tahoe was coming up, because those days we never knew anything about NABH, and not even a single objective element could be explained to us by anybody. So even though NABH was conducting a lot of programs, but at this 1.5 2 days program, we were not fast, and we can't be very clear. So that is the time Tahoe came out with one big initiative on training for NABH. So Nadu Madam was a mentor for me. I attended at least 20 to 30 classes of her, and I was the first student of her in certified person for quality implementation. That was entry level and food. Then I had the privilege to get my sector recognized as Center for Quality Promotion to help other hospitals to get NABH. And still now, none of the hospitals in India, several hospitals have got the CQB recognition from Tahoe. None of the hospitals has broken the record of 33 hospitals which I have handled, and they have got NABH. So after that, I worked on it, and in 2017, I got my first full NABH, that was first in Europe. And then this now, that is the 4th edition now, we have upgraded to 5th edition. So this is my journey, and now I would always say that it is an autopilot. And one more thing, as Madam told, rating NABH for a big hospital, for a multi-specialty hospital is very, very difficult. But for a single specialty hospital like mine, with few consultants, because the most resistant people to adapt to this process, the SOPs are the doctors. So if you have no number of doctors, it will be very difficult for you to implement the process. So that way, small hospitals, second hospitals, if the owner has the intent to learn it properly and understand the intent and implement it, then obviously any small hospital or any place they can get. So that lesson I learned from Dr. Nadu and Dr. Vishnu, they had done 3rd edition in Singapore. So that gave me a courage, and I started working on it. And I taught all these staffs in the hospital. There are 3 CPH, basically advanced, qualified staffs to me. My wife, my children, both of my son, everybody are qualified in the CPH. So we have to first understand as a owner, only in the small hospitals. In a multi-specialty big hospital, you have a lot of people, you have CEO, you have administrative officers, you have a lot of people to work on it. But for a small and medicine hospital, particularly, you as a owner should learn it properly, and how is doing a wonderful job. I should thank Dr. Danny, Dr. Jay, and other to take an initiative to become almost an official training wing of NABH. So the amount of training they give is phenomenal, and I would like to give few of the classes also have been the faculty, the help of Madam. This is the journey.
Thank you, Dr. So now over to Dr. AHPICON. You have heard, sir, 3, we have a representative from a corporate hospital, we have someone from a medical college, and another propagating the message of the importance of quality in the journey. As a representative of the larger group of nursing homes, what is the general opinion of doctors who own such nursing homes? Please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Arul, for inviting me for this wonderful session. And I'd like to thank AHPICON, Dr. Yanni, we have been traveling together for many years in this. And as you all know, India is a country where we have very various of cities and very levels of healthcare providers. As healthcare providers we pay, just an example, I would say, during the COVID, you all will agree that all Western countries who are supposed to have very good quality delivery and safety mechanisms, everything, they are well advanced than India. In spite of that, the outcome, if you compare, India has done better than all the Western countries. I hope all of you will agree that. In that situation, really, this quality healthcare, the pace at which we go, and the advances of the quality healthcare which we expect, has done really a great change. It's really a hard process. Yes, that doesn't mean that we don't have to have quality healthcare. Actually, I would say that I have been practicing for nearly around 55 years, and the journey of the practice as a surgeon, I used to visit the remote places, remote areas, to do surgeries, but there I would be only 10 with a blue light over there. The sister would be on the top, as over the wrist and taking the pulse and BT. At that time, we don't have even a oxygen across the days. And we did the surgery and we used to come out. And subsequently, as days went on, physical technology came up, and the need for the use of those gadgets came up. And we could see the sea of results changes. The oxymeter, the monitors, the diathermy, all those things came in, and which helped in giving the quality treatment. So that really has worked out in giving the quality healthcare. And accreditation process definitely has given a chance for the hospital to prepare towards the quality healthcare delivery. And this has changed the attitude and the look of the patient towards the healthcare, towards the healthcare facility. So that has definitely given a very big change. So the patients know what they think is, what is their expectation is. They want quality healthcare at an affordable cost. The affordable cost, I will talk about this in the next question, which I will put it for that. So the patient's expectation is quality healthcare at affordable cost. And we are marching towards that. And our quality implementation system, I think it has to cater for the remote rural hospital where they have to keep the quality healthcare at the same time with the affordable cost. We have to design this as a way that the quality also improves, at the same time the cost also has to be taken care of. So really, and just putting forward the things of all the areas of the healthcare system. So Government, good hospitals, high quality, high technology, that's good. At the same time, the smaller areas, there also we have to see that the quality is being delivered. But what type of quality? Should we follow the fifth edition strictly in the remote area? If you want to follow the fifth edition of NABH in the remote area, no hospital sanitary accreditation. And if that is going to be, because you have to have this quality, unless you have this quality with you, then nobody can practice in the remote areas. I'll give you a small example. One of my brother's daughter, they are in US. One Friday, she had 300 sinus, not affected. Simply, they said that photograph units or that were just bulgy. She had severe pain. She went to the nearby hospital. And the hospital, they said that anything has to be done. But we have again VIP opinion. And VIP consultant, we can do that. And any doctor who was there, junior doctor, he was hoping to say to the senior, you put an institution to give the doctor. No, you should not do that. We need service to do that. Then she got 3 days. Then only she got the appointment. She had to suffer the pain. Whereas, in our country, in my hospital, she had come here. This is on the bedside. We can go just over and clean that one. And then we can the instrument over the therapeutic procedure. So all these things we have to think, then implement. Thank you.
Thank you. So, your points have led me to different ideas. So, but let me first start with. I'll come back to Dr. Nadu again. You've been in the General Secretary for Constitute. We're talking about quality. We're talking about accreditation. I would like to ask a simple question: is quality and accreditation the same?
Certainly not the same. Accreditation is just the way I must say. As quality management is a very large basket, and accreditation is one of the best possible tools that you could use to reach where you want to go. And it's a process, it's a continuous improvement process. So I would certainly not endorse that quality is accreditation and accreditation is quality. They are totally different. But accreditation is something that will take you there. And it's just the beginning of your quality. That's my answer to your question. That answer.
To Dr. Loki, I would like to understand what are your thoughts about affordability?
It's true that accreditation is not quality, they're definitely not synonymous. But what we have seen quite often is once you get accreditation, it gives you a sense of complacency. That yes, we are now done, whether it's JCI, NABH, NABH, whatever it may be. So now we are the best. I think that continuous journey, that accreditation is an entry point. It's just like you cross the gate onto the other side. And that is where your quality improvement will begin. So we should look at it like that. It's a constant journey. But very often we see even within our own organization that once you have ticked the box, oh, we completed NABH with 3 NCs, it's a cause for celebration. I'm sure I the credit, but I think quality goes much beyond that, and I think we need to emphasize that, which is why I just wanted to add to what she said. Yeah.
Thank you. So I was just asking, like, Dr. Agumalo was talking about affordability, and I know the kind of initiatives Apollo has, your Apollo clinical excellence, parameters, and multiple initiatives. After implementing many such initiatives involving the government, are you able to keep your costs low, or has increased your cost of service?
It's a little difficult question to answer. See, if you look at it from one perspective, and I just want to give you a comparison that we did. If you look at the quality outcome for a procedure, and we did this with CABG, right? so you take the CABG outcomes of the top 10 hospitals in the world and we compared it with published American literature. So for the same outcome, if you take CABG mortality as an outcome, they had reported a CABG mortality rate of about 1.5 odd and we were at about 1.4 comparable. Their cost was almost 5. So definitely if you look just from that prism, and I'm not saying just because it's supportive, I'm sure if you ask Dr. Satish with knees, he would find it very clearly that our outcomes are compared to the best. We can say this with complete confidence on every metric that we choose to measure, and we are doing it at that 1/5, 1/4, 1/10 the cost. So I think one of the things that we now realize is that these protocols and processes that we have developed are helping us to achieve it at a much lower cost. But if you are asking what has happened to the cost of the procedure over years, yes, it has gone up. But the reasons are distinct and different. It may be related to input costs. I think now the biggest challenge for us, manpower costs are going up as perhaps they should. And that's a challenge for us. But I think definitely quality, I mean, these accreditation processes and protocols that you have done enables you to give error-free standardized care. But in that sense, you are able to achieve it at a much lower cost. This is our experience.
Coming back to Dr. Prabhakar, as a hospital promoter, and we are running a hospital in a tiny town, I keep repeating it for purpose. So just want to understand, as the theme of the conference is about sustainability.
How does these quality initiatives
Help you, the sense of business? Has it helped you sustain your hospital business revenues? Can you just elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, I can answer this question in two different headings. One would be implementation, the cost of implementation of these processes and other things. Definitely it was initiatives for a small hospital and a single bed hospital, single own hospital. We had a lot of challenges. That was a big thing because when we wanted to implement the hand hygiene technique, compliance rate was only 50%. So then we had to come up with some new ideas. If quality person or the infection control nurse goes to a department and if she finds out that the hand hygiene techniques are not properly followed, the in charge will get 2 days off cut. And the person who was not compliant will get 1 day off. That's because that improved the in charge's acting these people better way. So that is how we could reach compliance rate of 98%. So that was the initial challenge. So now it has become slowly, culturally there, or into a subconscious way of handling it. So that is one thing. The second thing is the simple tools. See, like corporates like Apollo Hospital, the big hospitals, there are people to counsel, there are people to do everything. But first, second hospital in a small town like ours, we need to do everything. So these tools give us a very big advantage. For example, early morning stroke. You can catch a patient 6 hours before he goes critical. It really matters for us because in big hospitals you have very good qualified staff nurses because they want some experience with their background in that domain. But for us, we don't get that good staff nurse and they keep changing. So what happens when a patient post-op has a fever? The patient, you have a good build-up around the clock in a big hospital. Available is me, and they call me in theatre and they ask the patient has fever. That's all. That much only they can pick up the staff nurse. But then I will say, okay, give a paracetamol and leave it. But this early morning score, a simple tool, can empower the staff nurse to shift the patient if it goes over the 3 to the ICU before the complication is clinically established. So which in the other sense helps us from litigations and hospital attacks. Because in a small hospital, major problem when hospital attack appears is the patient worsens, the attendants come and keep on repeatedly coming and complaining that the patient is not well. We don't take care. After that, we shift the patient to ICU, and if the mortality is there, they don't accept it. But with this simple tool, we shift the patient before the clinical presentation comes on this acute things. And even the patient attenders are surprised. He looks okay. Why should you want to shift? But then, once you shift, they are very happy, and that part of thing is taken care of. Similarly, surgical site marking. We do a checklist inside the theatre which doesn't know when the patients are attenders. But when we do it in the ward, previous day, surgical safety checklist, site marking, they ask why you do it. So then we say, like, see, sometimes they all read the paper, and instead of right kidney, left kidney is operated. So to avoid this, we are doing this. So these things, improve our the morale of the treatment and the involvement and the adverse reactions and double checking. These are all very, very important things which is already practiced in big hospitals. But once you practice, again coming to the cost and Ravikumar told, we in periphery, we are tackling 80 to 90% of the patients under CML insurance scheme. It's a package which has not changed for the last 12 years. So what will happen if the patient has post-op infection? We will have to pay from our pocket because it's a package, includes all medications. The insurance company will not pay extra. So if your infection rate has come down, you are at gain. So small and periphery hospital will gain more in the long run if you have a proper quality setup, rather than you're not implementing quality. That will take a toll on your. In 10 cases you learn, in 1 case you go off. So that is a major challenge in a periphery and a small hospital. So that way I think it has given a very big thing for me.
Coming back to Dr. Ravikumar, sir, we are talking about cost here and sustainability. So, and Dr. Prabhakar is talking about cost implementation. Yeah, quality does come with a cost. But for a hospital promoter in a tier 2, tier 3 town, who is just running a 50-bed nursing home, so how can he or she manage that cost at the same time be affordable to the patients?
Yes, sir. To open this, I just give basic cost. So which the Indian Medical Association, see why we went for costing study basically is, as Prabhakar was telling, the packages which the insurance companies, whether it is the government side schemes or the private, the packages are very less, which cannot sustain. It's very low. So whenever we go for dialogue with the insurance people, they say that when so much of hospitals can do for such a low cost, why you are asking for a higher cost? And we will have many data. So we had a thought that we should do costing. Because major hospitals, it is a business model, and they will definitely, before starting a hospital, they will work on return on investment. But 80% of the small medium hospitals, they don't do that at all. They just put the money in the evening, next day they plow back into that without knowing where it is going, how it is going, whether they are making profit or not. And 1 week they will go on outing, or somewhere after 1 week they come back to the hospital and they will suffer to pay the salary of the patients. That is the thing. So what IMA we did is, we will just do costing. And we did the costing as per the government standards. The government had given the CEA 2010, it has given the standards for the basic hospital. A hospital means that these are the quality things which you have to maintain in the hospital. So based on that, we did the costing, and we were shocked to see that unless there's 50-bedded hospital with those quality standards, if you want to run, per day room charges must be 5,000 plus. 5,000 plus. Whereas when you ask any of the medium small hospitals, their room total charges will come down to 2,000, 2,000. Then the costing accountant asked, how come doctor, I can't take anything out of this, from this? So how is that you people are able to manage? Then the thought process came in, and we just saw, in this crowd I just asked you, how many of you are doing 8 hours and 200 days a year work? Doctors, only 8 hours per day and 200 days in a year. Can any of you put up your hand? See, according to the quality standards, a doctor professional should work only for 8 hours a day and he should work only for 200 days a year. As doctors, we work for more than 12 to 14 hours a day and 365 days. If year contains 400 days, then also we will be working. So we are able to manage because of overwork, one. Second thing is, the staffs who are working. Wonderful talk today, morning I heard from the nursing team. Our staff in the medium and small hospitals, they work 12 hours, 2 duties, 12 hours. And they multitask. Our nursing, I think madam, she was telling that you specify the work and give the work which she is interested. But in the small medium hospitals, you cannot have like that. You cannot have the theatre nurse exclusively doing theatre work and the nurse for ward work. So we want the nurse to do multitask. Only by such multitasking we could meet the ends. We are able to meet the ends. That's so. That costing has opened the eyes. So if you want to give that quality, safety, everything to our staff and also the quality care, then we have to increase our charges in order to. We have to fight with the insurance companies now that the universal health care is going to come in. Every citizen is going to come with a card to a hospital and he will pay only cashless. He will squeeze. So, that is the status. But this quality health care definitely is boom, I would say. For example, in my hospital, one day I was having the cylinders earlier. It's almost 26 years. And we were having only cylinders earlier. One fine day what happened is, cylinder was full, everything, the mask, everything was in the cylinder, but key was not there. Patient is having breathlessness, we have to give oxygen, but people are running around to get the key to open the cylinder. Then I thought we should have a central, just a second, central system. And central system, each and every room, I have a suction oxygen unit implemented there. And we have a checklist in each and every room. So the checklist contains each and every point. About 20 points are there inside this checklist. Daily morning, a person has to go see that every, including the kidney tray, everything they will see, they will tick it and sign it. Once that is done, absolutely free. So this process of quality implementation is definitely helpful and that doesn't involve much cost. And regarding the cost, I think the next question I will answer. Yes, I was thinking.
So actually we will short of time, but Dr. Raghu, as you said, like it doesn't matter who does the job, it is important that the process is followed. And you can either do it with a dedicated staff or do it with a multi-skill staff. Okay, lastly, I will come back to Dr. Nadu to understand. You have been involved in a lot of national forums, and Dr. Kaga also been doing a lot of quality revolution, leading the quality revolution in the country. Can you just elaborate on what is the future of accreditation and what are the national quality initiatives that are happening in the country?
Thank you for that question, Alan. And I think the most important thing is to get most hospitals in the country accredited. Despite 15 years of accreditation journey, we still have just about 10% of the hospitals accredited or certified. So, as Madam rightly said, it is the basic minimum standards that we are talking about. And it's very important that every hospital goes through this. Whether in the form of a CEA checklist or EPA standards, it's not something that every hospital has to go through. Some basic minimum standards with regards to if it's a labor room, the Rakshya, Manyata, some basic minimum standards so that we assert that the right quality of care is delivered to our patients and the quality care is asserted. The patient safety is asserted. That's very important. So that's the first thing I think that we have to lead by example, getting all our hospitals certified or accredited. Without that, there is no guarantee that we have got systems and processes in place. And whatever we say, the cost of poor quality is going to be extremely bad for the organization. You may be doing 100 cases with excellent outcomes, and you have one case like the mother of Sydney who went through the wrong side operated. That happened in Sloan Kettering in one of the leading centers in the US. So it could happen anywhere. So the cost of poor quality is something that we cannot afford today. So that's very, very crucial. So basic minimum standards and accreditation journey for all hospitals is one. Second thing is the hospitals that are accredited over a period of time. Let's say Apollo, 15 years of accreditation or 10 years of accreditation. There are many hospitals that have gone through 3 or 4 cycles of accreditation. Now every time we are going through the same process. NC is coming in, you now know how to break the NC. You've got standard documents available as to how to close the NC. It's almost become like a tick list today. So what is it in for hospitals that have reached that level of excellence and want to go beyond accreditation? That is where I think there is a wonderful project that is now coming in. It's tried out, the grading of hospitals by the Quality Council of India. It's already tried and tested in 8 centers in the country, the leading centers. It's going to be a path-breaking exercise, I'm sure. Because this is going to lead you with process-related, outcome-related indicators, sustainability coming into the picture, patient experience, service provider experience, technology in a big way, as to how your hospitals are adopted to technology. So that's the next step which I'm sure the country is looking out for. So I think there are several challenging opportunities, international players also coming into the market. Now what to choose from, whether you need standards or you want to go to the next level with JCI, ACHSI, lot more. Now the new player in the ground is AACI, and then you have 2D players, ISO global standards are coming. But whatever it is, I think the intent is the same for everybody. It is all to do with excellence. And another important exercise which I feel is sharing best practices. We have many conferences happening where today hospitals are coming up with good best practices, and what we are now lacking is actually putting them in documentation, which is the compendium of best practices to learn from hospitals, other hospitals. You do not repeat the same mistake what others have done. So in order to do that, it's important that others come together as a consortium, put the best practices, share best practices, and take all the hospitals together towards that level of excellence. It's now a huge divide. You have hospitals that have not gone into any accreditation or certification. You've got world-class hospitals, but how do you bridge this gap? So unless we do that, it's going to be a challenge. And I feel in a few years, we have excellent opportunities over in front of us, and it's for us to invite. If we don't accept change, I think we become redundant.
Thank you very much. And I have to apologize to my panelists as short of time, and I have to sacrifice some of round of questions with all of you. But yeah, I would take pride in agreeing with my fellow panelists the fact that, as Dr. Nadu was saying, cost of poor quality affects you more than cost of implementing quality, and there is no other way around it. And that is the only way for survival, even sustainably. That's the only way for survival, and that will only lead you to a sustainable business, hospital business or growth. So I thank the panelists. Apologies from my side again. We will close the session. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Requesting the panelists to please stay back for the felicitation. May I please request Dr. Satish Devadas to join us on the dais for felicitating the panelists, please. Requesting Dr. Satish to please felicitate Dr. Rohini Sridhar. Thank you, ma'am, for presiding over this session. It was great. Thank you. A round of applause for all of us, please. Felicitation over to Dr. Lalit Joseph. Thank you, madam, for making up the presence today. Memento over to Dr. A.P. Ravi Kumar.
Memento over to our speaker, Dr. M. Prabhakar. Thank you, Mr. Redel, our organizing secretary of AHPICON, for leading the panel. A round of applause for the entire panel, please. Can you please step forward for the group photograph? Thank you so much for the entire panel session. Before we move forward, I have few information to be briefed about to all of you. First of all, thank you so very much for presiding over this conference and making it a successful one on the go.
Thank you for participating from the morning, and please do participate in the award segment after 5 p.m. Please do follow AHPI on social media. We are present in almost all the social media platforms. And the conference photographs will be uploaded, and the QR code is given in your delegate kit. So in your delegate kit, there is a photography card that's given. If you can scan that, you have all the pictures that's been taken since morning. You can download the pictures if any if required. And AHPI.com live is live or has not participated today. You can share the live link to them. And AHPI discount membership is applicable of 10% only for today. So please do be a part of AHPI, and please do apply for the membership of discount 10%, and it is valid only for today. Thank you. The next segment is about challenges
Supplying to regulatory compliance and medical law, and Major Advocacy Ramababu, Secretary AHPI Nadu, Shannon, Sabarmati, and Retreat to be joined us on the dais. With a round of applause, welcome, sir. And I shall welcome the co-chair, Dr. Maniman Jayaraman, Managing Director of Kurji Hospital, to join us on the dais, please. The session is over to the chair co-chair.
Good everyone. This is a new ground for me. To thank AHPI Dr. Satish Devadas for giving the opportunity. So, welcome the panelists, Dr. Babu from Chennai, the chairman of AHPICON Hospital, and I welcome my colleague, my senior Dr. Francis Roy, who runs orthopedic hospital in Tirunelveli, and Dr. Purnachandran, Medical Administrator of Kaveri Hospital, Chennai, and our Professor, Professor Nandima, who is National Law School. He is always a part of our program whenever we do an orthopedic meeting regarding medical law. Professor Nadu will be joining us shortly. So, you can take over.
Good afternoon, everyone. I know how difficult it is to sit for post-led sessions, but I'm sure that our pair of speakers will keep you active and alert to their beautiful inputs. And first, I will ask that Babu, since you have started a new hospital recently in Chennai, so we would like to know what are the challenges that you have faced by starting the new hospital.
Respected Chair and Co-Chair, thank you for your opportunity. So I was just
saying, I was a practicing physician. I was having a very happy life. Starting a hospital. Yeah. So I was on a sabbatical. I was just enjoying my life. Then I thought that boy, these doctors are working 24/7 and they will die as a doctors and they will have a defensive of characters to their life. And we were doing consulting, we were doing very good. Then somehow something struck us and we started this hospital. So, two perspectives. I mean, I had been an administrator. I had the pleasure of working with Dr. Ram Babu for almost 18 years or so with the Vijaya Group of Hospitals. And working there as a medical administrator for, say, around more than a decade or so, the perspective of complying to the regulatory and statutory requirements, then coming out and starting your own venture as a small, say, less than 50-bedded hospital, those perspectives is entirely different. Of course, after conceptualizing your name and other things, company name, then registering and in the company's act, and okay, you have started a company, okay. Now, okay, we have a great plan in front of us. We are quite sure that that will go good, fine. Now we
employees say. And when it comes to price management, or what happens is we have got a very small buying power. We are all small bodies, and getting a margin on our products or our monitors or whatever, our buying power is very less. And a lot of times what happens, we go in for local purchases. We can't do a centralized purchase because we don't want to stock so much in our pharmacies because we do not know. First difficulty is so our negotiation power becomes so less when you have a 3 times patient. And also what happens is the number of vendors we have because of that becomes more. Coming to financial problem, the good side is we have a good patient mix. Still, I think 60 to 70% or 80% is walk-ins. They're not insurance patients. So we have a lot of cash patients with us. So we have a good cash flow, and only 10 to 15% is insurance based. So in that way, we are blessed in a way. And the problem is, most of the patients who come us is from the middle class, lower middle class, or very few upper middle class patients, because the rest of them either go to the nearby city for better hospitals. And these patients, when you tell them the estimate, they get scared. And by law, I think today we have to give them an estimate. And getting money from them in part is such a big problem. They just push it till the last, and most of them are known to you because it's a small town. And they finally expect a discount also for you at the end of the day. And it's such a difficult thing to do. And then of course, even if you have discount policies, if you have insurance, payout backs, we'll have to bear the brunt of paying our fixed costs every month. We have nurses and all our fixed costs which will be there. And of course, a old building, a 40-year-old building like mine, I think a maintenance cost every month, the budget separately for it. And the biggest thing is certain costs and the equipment costs. We really don't work out the ROI for consultants. We work out some ROI for our equipment, but even that we are not able to meet. And consultants, it's really a difficult thing for us in the rural areas to get them the patients, to make them sit and do their work. And of course, not the least about the finances. There is a huge revenue leak somewhere which we are able to be detected, but then we detected at the wrong point by the time we have lost something. Nursing, I think it would be a repeat of what I was saying. Quality of nurses, training of nurses, stresses these nurses undergo in a small setup is much, much different. It's not the same as in a bigger hospital. They are not able to, because one day they are in ICU, one day you should go to the casualty. So she covers casualty for that day. So they are also a little stressed in that. License rules, so many rules have been changed. Even this year have been changed. The government has increased their fees so much, and then you have now the fire coming in because in Tirunelveli now it has become a smart city. Please understand, once you become a smart city, a lot of rules change. Even your building might be 40 years old, but it has to be by regulation. The smart city has changed a whole lot of regulations, and sometimes I find all small hospitals at one time might need to be changed completely or broken down and built again. The smart city rules are really strictly followed. Clinical problems, quality to quantity. I think the beauty doctors who come are really scary now. Especially, I cannot have a night's sleep if I don't have an anesthetist covering my casualty. So I have 3 anesthetists just for my casualty, 24 hours at 8-hour shift. Because otherwise, if some patient comes and even one death happens or one mishap happens, I cannot go stand them. And it's like they would call me again and again in the night. So the quantity of doctors, DMOs who come, and the quality is so different, and they hardly stay with us. And last but not the least, I think there are 3 things that are important in 3 tier cities which are happening. One is a succession crisis. There is a family doctor who runs a hospital. He expects his son to become a doctor or a family member to become a doctor. There is no doctor. And then what happens to that hospital? The hospital runs with the second thing is a structural or a management crisis. Management crisis, you will have 2 managers, one or 2 persons in the lab, you will have 2 pharmacists. But now you need a HR, you need a operation manager, you need, so the rising costs will. The third thing is the statutory crisis. Now, as Babu was saying, 60 certificates, and Babu was saying, I have a separate department for maintaining the statute. How will these small hospitals be able to do that? Even servicing per hour shift for our nurses in it's not accepted in a place like Tirunelveli, where when you are running a hospital, you have to be statutory requirement. And for the staff, you have to give them food, you have to have 8 hours, transport, so many other things that are restricted, which is making our fixed costs really high. And I wouldn't say it's quite a challenge to run a small or a big setup with multi-specialty in a 3-tier city. And as our insurance person was saying, the profit margins have become paper thin because of another problem that post-COVID, most of our payments are made digitally. And with the digital payments in, it's really difficult to make your ends meet today in any small hospital or large hospital. And in years to come, you'll see a lot of hospitals closing down in our rural centers, especially less than 30 bed hospitals. And I think our primary care will suffer in the next 5 years because of our high regulations and our quality costs which are going to be put into the